Can you sail under the command of a pirate? Or can you not?
8 a.m., December 3rd, 2002, Long Beach, California. The crew of the brig Lady Washington prepares her to cast off on a 40-day voyage to the island of St. Vincent, where she will play the role of the interceptor in Pirates of the Caribbean.
In LA, we did approximately 49 days of preparation to the vessel. That's when the majority of the set dressing happened, making the boat look the way the art department wanted it to look for this film, to make it match ships like the Dauntless and the Black Pearl.
The Lady is a replica of the original Lady Washington, which sailed these waters in the latter half of the 18th century. She is 112 feet long, and her main mast is 90 feet high. In addition to her 11 sails, Lady Washington is outfitted with a 318 horsepower diesel engine, which drives a modern-day propeller.
We rebuilt the engine while we were in Los Angeles and then departed on December 3rd.
Here we go, on the helm.
Quarter springs on board.
All lines, all hands. Thank you. See you in the Caribbean.
The journey will take her south along the coast of Mexico and Central America, then through the Panama Canal into the Caribbean Sea to the island of St. Vincent.
We stayed coastwise most of the way down through the Pacific. The reason for that is, A, it's the most direct route, the currents are favorable, the weather's typically favorable, and if we needed provisions or had a mechanical failure, we wanted to be close enough to receive assistance so as not to slow down the production of the film.
With many long days at sea before them, the crew settles into the work required to maintain Lady Washington during her voyage. Each crew member must know the Lady's rigging intimately and be willing to climb aloft to set and furl the sails at any time in any weather. As is common in these waters, dolphins often swim alongside the Lady, frolicking in her bow wake, and crew members have no trouble getting into position for this photo opportunity.
Swim call.
To break up the monotony, Captain Brad occasionally stops the Lady so her crew can take advantage of the inviting coastal waters. Friday the 13th, December, Acapulco, Mexico. After a dangerous docking attempt at night in heavy swells, the crew anchors offshore until morning. Lady Washington sustained some damage, and crew member Tyson Trudell nearly lost a finger in the incident. Captain Souza decides to attempt a less risky Mediterranean-style mooring to refuel and take on supplies.
Ease away, ease away, ease away. Hold, hold.
Back at sea again, the Lady makes headway toward the Panama Canal, southward along the coast of Central America.
120 miles west of the Costa Rica and Nicaragua border.
Over the next 9 days at sea, crew members take time out from their duties to make Christmas presents for one another.
Too bad it's not for me. Pity.
And a stowed-away tree is brought out on deck.
We arrived 6 days early in Panama, and that played out later on as we got into what was the hardest part of the trip.
December 24th, Lady Washington is moored in Balboa Harbor, Panama, and the crew decorates the tree. while Captain Brad meets with a canal official below decks.
The catch rats, chickens, pigs, snakes in the midst of the pond.
Daniel Joram, the ship's chef, and Carpenter's mate Sean Bull take a wild taxi ride into Panama City to replenish the ladies' galley with provisions.
Everyone on the ship was looking forward to our trip through the Panama Canal. And at 7 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Day, we got the word, it's been arranged, you're ready to go.
Christmas morning, the crew meets on deck with a Panamanian pilot who has come on board to guide the lady through her entire canal transit. As Lady Washington approaches the Miraflores locks, the crew puts out fenders to protect her sides from any damage.
On the spring lines.
The tugboat D.P. McAuliffe is commissioned to tie on to Lady Washington to secure her through the series of locks, which will raise her over 90 feet to canal level. When the final lock is opened, Captain Brad and the pilot, Oscar, navigate Lady Washington out into the canal interior, and the crew can relax for the time being. Eventually, Lady Washington arrives at the Gatun locks on the Caribbean side, and the crew prepares her to be lowered back down to sea level. This time-lapse sequence shows the lady being lowered in the final of the 3 sets of locks. The massive steel gates open, and Lady Washington steams into Limon Bay 8 hours after commencing the transit. Below decks, Chef Daniel prepares a parting gift.
Nice little Christmas present for the pilots. Send them off or something. Something to remind them of the holidays from this boat.
Oscar, the canal pilot, steps off the lady after successfully guiding her between 2 oceans, and Captain Brad drops anchor for Christmas dinner.
Yes. To our big toe. Captain Susan.
After dinner, crew members exchange gifts on deck, satisfied that a major milestone in the voyage has been passed. In the morning, after weighing anchor, the crew sets sail, and Lady Washington heads into the Western Caribbean, facing increasingly rough seas.
We got about 30 or 40 miles out, and that's when it started, the challenge that we all knew was there. It was blowing 38 miles, 40 miles an hour, and the seas were getting as large as 25. And we were really getting tossed and turned. There was water constantly on the deck, huge waves rushing across the deck. We were just holding on, hoping that if we stayed out there long enough, the Caribbean would blow itself out, but that wasn't the case. On December 30th, the seas became so big that the entire bow of the ship started crashing through waves, and we snapped off our jib boom, which is the front part of the ship that holds everything above it from falling backwards. And at that point, it became, very necessary to turn around and find the closest port of refuge so that we could make repairs to the ship.
A decision is made to seek safe harbor in the old Spanish port city of Cartagena, Colombia. After a peaceful dinner on deck and some repair rigging in the morning, Lady Washington set sail for the final leg of her voyage.
We slowly crawled around the point of Colombia until we finally were able to achieve St. Vincent on January 12th, which was our actually scheduled arrival date.
Dawn, January 12th, 2003. The brig Lady Washington cruises into the coastal waters off the island of St. Vincent, 40 days and over 4,400 nautical miles from her departure point in Long Beach, California.
We're almost there. So good to feel
As Chef Daniel prepares breakfast, the crew on deck executes the easiest and most important mooring of the lady's journey.
Hold now. Hold now. All right, take off and after leading.
As a captain, I was really proud of my crew. They worked tirelessly meeting the challenge, and then succeeding was really a wonderful thing to be part of.
Although the voyage has ended, the work is not over. The lady receives a new jib boom, a lot of rigging work, and some fit and finish. Finally, the ship is outfitted with British naval flags, and with that, the brig Lady Washington becomes the Interceptor and sails into motion picture history.